From the Homestead Studios in Santa Clarita, California, this is The Pod is Right, and I'm your host, Amber Lancaster.
Oh my God.
And my co-host is Peter Palmdale. I'm just kidding. It's actually just the Tip-Sters. But if I could make Joshua laugh, which I did.
Yeah.
So Joshua's girlfriend is Amber Lancaster, which if you live in Southern California is hilarious. Like your name is Dave Pomona.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why I just gave him the new nom de plume, Peter Palmdale. So, because it sounds very pornish.
Yes, I have a huge crush on the blonde from The Price is Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Good for you. Welcome to Just the Tip-Sters, America's favorite true crime podcast. I'm actually your host, Melissa Morgan, and my lovely and talented co-host who turns the wheel is Joshua Bevan. Say hello, Joshua.
Hello.
And this is a murder-tizer because I feel like we need to address the rapist in the room.
Oh my God. Oh, wow.
Dressed in an elephant suit.
Oh, boy.
No, it's just we're going to talk about some things here. So some great emails and messages we've gotten from our amazing listeners. But before that, a couple of updates. They, as soon as we talked about the Stockton serial killer, a day later they caught him. I wish it were us. It's not us, but they did say they got tips. So I'm, grateful for that.
Yeah.
So 43-year-old Wesley Brownlee is still behind bars and he's charged with 3 counts of murder. So there's probably going to be more charges to follow. I think that they have to try and, get all of the ballistics together.
Oh, they charged him with 3. There were 7? 7 total. Okay. And they charged him with 3 so far.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this comes from CBS 13 in Sacramento, they have great coverage. And they had a reporter visit his home and discovered that he lives just a few doors down from Jonathan Hernandez Rodriguez, one of the younger victims, 21 years old.
Oh, wow.
They lived in like the same kind of courtyard apartment complex. And they're not sure if they even really knew each other. Apparently, Wesley Brownlee was not a disruptive neighbor, pretty quiet, kept to himself, but, also had a few incidents that were interesting. A neighbor, Michael Wilson, said he knew Wesley Brownlee and didn't think that anything like this would ever happen or he'd be accused of anything. But he did say he actually heard the gunshot when Rodriguez was found in the parking lot of their complex. That was August 30th when he shot him. There's like a memorial set up in the parking lot for Jonathan Hernandez Rodriguez, and it's almost in front of Wesley Brownlee's front door.
That's
I know, super, super weird. Michael Wilson said he seemed like he had an attitude problem sometimes and you just kept your space from him. But, he didn't do anything in the apartment complex other than kill his neighbors and others. But according to the East Bay Times, he had a pretty troubled past. He was accused of assault in high school, arrested for selling crack cocaine 3 times, and he had a brother who died in a drug-related killing. This was kind of interesting. Michael Wilson said Brownlee would get agitated if you parked in his parking spot.
Wow.
And one time, I get it.
I totally get that. Like,
in an apartment,
to get mad, but not.
But listen to this.
Him.
Not murder a guy.
Yeah.
He threw a man's wheelchair in an argument.
Okay.
Is there the next step is then serial killing?
I guess.
Yeah.
Through his wheelchair.
Yeah, it's like, get your handicapped van out of my...
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that's what happened. Maybe the guy just had a broken leg from skiing.
I'm giggling at the image of it, but that's hardcore.
Next step, serial killing.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's at the same ballpark for sure.
I think so. I think you're right. So this next update was sent to me by Sheila Gray, the morning news anchor from Good Morning Cincinnati, and my wonderful friend Tipster Melissa. They both sent it to me about the same time. So this is probably pretty big news back home where I'm from. So the FBI is conducting a search in connection with the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. So we covered Crystal's case. I didn't want to, but we did sort of along with Jason Ellis. There was a lot going on in that part of Kentucky all at once. But so Crystal was 35 years old when she went missing, reported missing July 3rd of 2015. And her car was found abandoned on the Bluegrass Parkway with her keys, phone, and purse still inside. There's only been one person of interest, and that's her boyfriend and the father of her child, Brooks Houck. So what's interesting is that the Houck family and Crystal's family, the Ballard family, they're two big influential families in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like, it's not exactly Romeo and Juliet, but there's a lot like going on. Brooks was her boyfriend. And like I said, the father of her youngest son. She had 5 kids. And he told officers that he and Crystal had gone to his family farm the night before she disappeared. And then he said he woke up the next morning, the baby was on the bed and she was gone. That's wrong. Completely a lie. Anyway, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? So the FBI.
You don't buy it?
No, sir. Okay. The FBI took over the case in 2020, and they have done multiple searches and sites that were owned by Brooks Houck. So Brooks was his own brother, who was a cop, Nick, at one point called him a slumlord. He was developer. Let's call him a developer.
Okay.
And he had lots of properties. And actually, Crystal had started working for him. That's where they met. And she was collecting rents from, people. So he had a lot of properties that they could search. So this is what's so interesting. The farm is located at 345 Paschal Ballard Lane. And it's owned by Brooks Houck's mother. But, Ballard is the name of Crystal's, father's family name.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it is that small town.
Yes.
Got it.
And it was named like, and I don't know what year, America's most beautiful small town. I mean, and it really is a lovely place, but like every place, there's, an underbelly of shit.
Sure.
Sherry Ballard, Crystal's mother, said in a press conference, she's thankful that the property is being searched again. It's a huge farm. It takes so long to go through something like that. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, could she still be there? Could she be there and it was overlooked? And it's like 248 acres or something. It's 260 acres. So it's a lot.
That's a big.
And the FBI has searched it twice before. And they've also searched underneath like concrete pads that Brooks had, poured. And I mean, I know when you're like a land baron, I'm not sure they're going to be able to, And she said Sherry, Crystal's mom, said she'd spent a lot of time at the farm with, her daughter and Brooks Houck, roasting marshmallows and hot dogs over a campfire with, the kids. And she says, I just pray that I find some answers soon. I'm trying not to get too excited about it because I don't want it to be a letdown if nothing's found.
Wow.
I mean, this poor woman, she's been through probably more than I can even say, because her daughter's missing, presumed dead, and about a year and a half after her daughter went missing, her husband was assassinated while hunting on his own property.
Oh no!
I have no idea who did it, but we think he wouldn't give up searching for his daughter, and he had the means and the time, and he'd put giant billboards up on the local freeways. My daughter, Crystal Rogers, is missing.
So somebody might have been angry at his continued
process.
Search.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Sherry Ballard is kind of an amazing woman to stand up under all of this. And then she's, got Crystal's 5 kids to raise and no husband. And
so what is, so the mother has her grandbabies.
She probably shares them with some of Crystal's siblings, but yeah, I'm sure maybe she's raising them all herself.
What's going on with the dad though?
Oh, I shouldn't. The dad has the one.
Oh, it's only one. Okay,
yeah, with
only
Brooks,
one of
with
the
Brooks
kids
Houck.
was his.
So yeah, I'm not even sure if Sherry gets to see the baby.
Okay, so the baby is with the dad.
I'm guessing. I think so.
Even though you don't buy his story, and
obviously the FBI doesn't buy his story,
but if they don't have anything, any evidence, then of course he continues on.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Where are the other fathers?
I don't know the history of how the other kids came about.
but yeah. So the grandbabies are with her and her
and her family. Yeah. That's what I'm guessing. And I think they went to court about custody of the baby, and I think Brooks got the baby. So, yeah.
Wow.
Right. So I want to say thank you to Irene Lynn for the review on Apple Podcasts. She
Awesome.
said we are her new obsession, and she found us due to an online class, which is fascinating. I'd like to know, is it like how not to do a podcast? I'm wondering what the online class was where she found us. But if you would like to leave us a review, we'd be so delighted. A review, a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you get your podcasts. We would be very grateful. And if you can find us on social media, on the Facebook, Just the Tipsters page, at JT Tipsters on Instagram, at JT Tipsters Pod on Twitter. You can find us anywhere you want. And if you want to leave us a review, we'd be delighted. You can also email us at jttipsters@gmail.com. And we've gotten quite a few emails over the last week or so. Charmaine in Canada says that I do not sound like a dude. And she's
correct.
Oh, no, I think I sound like a dude. More people. And I told her, I was like, thank you for your sweet words. But more people than not have said, I sound like a dude. And she said, I have the perfect voice for what I do, which is very kind. She said that we make cleaning and coffee worth the time. I guess she listens well. Yeah, I'm like...
That's a huge compliment.
I think so, too. I was thinking I know there's like crime and coffee, but we should do like cleaning, crime, and coffee.
And have somebody else do the cleaning, please, because I'm...
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not down either. Look around. I'm not... I don't feel like fucking cleaning anything anymore. I don't feel like living right now. So, yeah, no,
All right, cool.
Thank you for the email, Charmaine. And then we got some emails from listeners after the last murder teaser. So,
oh boy,
I'm gonna qualify this. I thought it was a good discussion. It went very differently than I thought. I think it's an important topic, and apparently some of our listeners do too, because they wrote in. The qualifier is Joshua is all man, but almost a woman, because he loves women probably more than most women love women, and he understands women, and he respects women. So, and there wasn't one email that suggested otherwise. They were just voicing their disfavor at your opinion.
Sure.
They all said, I still love him, but
he's an asshole.
Not exactly.
With all due respect.
Not exactly. Please go ahead.
No. That's the preface. With all due respect,
they didn't respect you.
You're a fucking asshole.
No. They didn't respect you or call you an asshole. Right about the middle. They're right about the middle. So,
yeah. Listen, I'm totally fine coming into your podcast and playing the foil. I will be.
You're not we're not on the opposite sides, really.
I'll be the bad guy coming in to stir up the pot.
You stir up the pot. Yeah. You are definitely a shit stirrer of epic proportions, but you are not. You're not a foil. We're on the same side.
No, totally. I mean, but
here's what I feel like semantics. I think some people were unhappy with some of your verbiage.
That's fair.
It was simply the phrase rape fantasy. Several people balked at that. I have a different opinion, and we are going to play a clip that I sent to Joshua.
Yes, okay.
And I'm going to qualify this too. It is of Dane Cook, and if you would like to Google it, it's just under scenarios. You can find it on YouTube, and it is It pains me to say this because I'm not the biggest Dane Cook fan. It's a masterful clip.
So funny.
Because what he does is explain a little bit about what Joshua was talking about and brings it back around to women are still in charge. And it's very insightful for him. A man who's in his 50s marrying a woman in her 20s now. He's not my favorite person. I will also tell you.
That's why he's not your favorite person?
No, he can marry whoever he wants. Okay. I don't think he's particularly funny. But what I do think is that he's a pretty fucking good dramatic actor. If you have a chance to see Mr. Brooks about a serial killer, I was stunned at Dane Cook. He did I was just, Mark and I saw it at the theater, and I just sat there with my mouth open. Like, first I was like, oh, motherfuck, Dane Cook's in this fucking film. What happened? Did Kevin Costner lose a bet? What the fuck? What the fuck? He did an amazing job.
Nice.
Amazing job. So Dane Cook has been around a long time. He's definitely a dude bro. Dudes love him.
Sure.
Blah, blah, blah. This clip is masterful in my mind.
I agree.
I myself, I'm going to tell you a situation I want you guys to try. This was, at the time, this was my girl's favorite scenario, if you're a fucking asshole. Because it's a scenario, easy. Here's our favorite situation I'd like you all to partake in. We would pretend that I was a rapist killer. No, shut up, you're going to love this. Here's how it go down. Girls, you do this. She would sit late at night on the couch, and she would dim the lights, put a scary movie in, wear a cute little pair of pajamas that she didn't know her titty plopped out, you know? Make a big bowl of popcorn, nice and fresh. Here's what I would do, guys. You do this. I would go outside and lurk for like 2 hours. Just lurk around my own premises for a nice 2 to 3 hour lurk. Get myself in the character. And then I'd go up to the window. We would leave the curtains open like such, so I would peer inside. And there she was, just sitting there. So what do I do, guys? You do this. I do little scratchy sounds on the window. And finally she would look up and she'd go, hello? Hello, is someone there? I thought I heard sounds coming from outside. Yeah, she's a horrible fucking actress. I don't know if I told you that. She's never gonna win an award for anything. So sometimes I do a few more scratchies, and then every once in a while I give it a good bang. I do like a hard, knock on the window, and she'd look up, she'd go, ooh, shit. Jeez, I hope those are just the Santa Anta winds whipping up. She knows I'm there, you get it. It's like so she's toying around with me a little bit. Like at one point she was like, oh geez, I seem to have forgotten napkins and this popcorn is so buttery. I'm just gonna have to use my tit. Now I've got a buttery tit. Whose mouth's gonna clean this? Next thing I do, take my cell phone, I call the house *67 so she does not know. When she finally picks up the phone, hello? I go, listen to me. I'm gonna come in there, I'm gonna rape you, and then I'm gonna kill you, and then I'm gonna bury you at the beach. And she would go, no. Holy shit, no, please. Who would say such things to me? And I go, well, let me reiterate. This is the guy that's gonna be coming in there, I'm gonna be raping you, followed by killing you, brought to you by bury you at the beach. And she would go, no, please, shit, no. Say this isn't real. Say this isn't happening. And I go, it's happening, bitch. She goes, baby, don't call me bitch. There's no bitch here, fuckface. Sorry. It's happening, Care Bear. I'll see you soon. Mwah, fucking mwah. I'm coming in there right now. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Okay, on the count of 3, we both hang up. 1, 2, 3. Hang up! Have some fun with that, okay? I want you to try it. Don't do it too much, though. Just a couple of times. It'll lose its excitement. One time we did it to the point where literally I'm in the bushes and I'm like, I'm gonna come in there. And she goes, oh, baby, wait, before you come in, we need milk. I'm like, regular at 2%.
And I'm just going to tell you, Joshua, I am very disappointed that I opened the door today and you weren't wearing a ski mask. Really, really, really disappointed in you. I mean,
Sure.
I gave you every chance.
That's true.
And you disappointed me.
I came here right on time. I knocked on the door. Yeah. I didn't creep around and scratch the windows.
No.
Oh man.
And I sent you exactly what I wanted you to do, and you just didn't fucking do it. You never listen. So
Yeah.
so we can talk about that clip, but I think it's a really great clip. So here we go.
Oh, that's funny.
Here we go. I've had some people say they listened and their opinion was at first, oh, Joshua, wrong. And
Sure.
then they, softened.
Okay.
I have permission from Tipster Debbie, and I'm going to read her email. It's so beautifully written. I asked her if I could read it or even put it on social media, and she said yes, because it's so beautifully done and it's
Okay.
so even-handed. So Tipster Debbie says, loved the episode, made us think. While I was at first pissed at the Joshua theory, it did make sense. But my theory is that a lot of women are nurturing. These women want to help find the missing and identify does. They want child abuse more widely known, such as listeners to suffer the little children. I am one who wants to fix everyone. I mostly listen to episodes involving the missing and identified. I've tried to get a Jane Doe identified for a while now, and I know that to be true. I am friends with Debbie on social media, and she is tireless in her efforts to help, identify Jane Does,
Right
John
on.
Does. I feel that the missing and identified often died alone and are still alone. Women want to find and identify as we feel it is the only thing left to do for these victims. I also think this is why a lot of women follow DNA projects, DNA solves. We get such a great feeling when someone is given their name back, just a theory.
Totally.
I totally agree with her. And I think, when I ask if there were other theories, I'm grateful to the people that gave me their theories. Some are more, less angry and, interestingly written. And some are just like very angry because these people have been victimized. And I completely get it. So I got a message, a very long message that says, Joshua, I would think that there are very few women. Yeah, sit down, brother. I would think that there are very few women that I believe have the rape fantasy, 3%. I don't know where she got that, but if they do, they can join the BDSM community for that. And then what's going to happen is the next thing I read is going to be from someone from the BDSM community who says that's different than a rape fantasy. So these two women don't agree, So, okay. I don't think a crime story on a podcast or a TV show is anywhere enough for them. She said, I think Melissa is right, which I don't know about that. Number one, understanding a criminal's mind, the ins and outs of how they can do something so horrible and it feel normal for them. Number two, solved crimes, finding a solution and an answer for who did this horrible thing, order in the chaos. Number three, learning what to watch for and how to protect yourself, not being naive and what can happen. Too many women are that way. Number four, I was a victim of horrible acts. In my life, I found that a lot of women are. Therefore, all of the above matters. I must admit that it shocked me to hear you talk about a rape fantasy. My first thought was, Melissa's going to crush him. But maybe a lot of people, in parentheses, men, think that way. I really think that it is a small amount of women and hopefully men. I just can't understand an act of violence and pain and control being exciting. As a survivor, it sickens me, but this world is full of evil, and I'm always amazed at how much there really is. And she said, I hope you don't mind that I wrote to both of you the way she had written to me. It's the easiest way to contact you. And I told her she could message me anytime.
Absolutely.
And she said, I'm in no way saying Joshua is a horrible person for saying that. I really don't know if those were his thoughts or he was voicing other people's thoughts. I guess it took balls to bring it up. So she says you have balls, which we know are closely shorn.
Right.
So there's that. And then I have one more.
Oh, man. Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
From someone who is in the, BDSM community who signed off her message, love and whipping.
Love and whipping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Joshua. I strongly agree. I've never heard a woman say they have a rape fantasy.
Strongly disagree?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Did I say agree?
Yeah.
I apologize. Sorry, Joshua. I strongly disagree. I've never heard a woman say they have a rape fantasy. The dom sub thing, yeah, okay, but that rape fantasy thing isn't a thing. I can tell you I love true crime because I wanted to be a cop as a kid, but no one ever encouraged me to do it. In fact, I grew up in a man-loving world girls were thought to have to go to beauty college. I watch true crime because as a woman, I want to know the details of how they work so I can avoid them.
Sure.
It's the cop in me. Good talk, love and whipping.
Love and whipping.
So I happen to know this is a very open-minded woman, and I'm not saying anyone else is not open-minded. I'm just saying what I feel happened is people disagreeing with semantics. And you said you hesitated to use the term rape fantasy.
Right. And I think so here's the part of the second message that I kind of clung to when she mentioned violence, pain, and control. Now, all of the fantasies that I've experienced anyway, all of the people that I've spoken to and carried out different fantasies with, it's not necessarily violence or pain. Those aren't the biggest part. It's the control. So maybe the word rape is conjuring up violence and pain, which I don't mean it to. Right. It's more of the dominance. It's more of the control end where I think quite a few women, and I don't pretend to have numbers. I have heard 2 out of 3, but I don't know where that comes from, if that's a real study or what. But I think quite a few women have a fantasy where they want to be controlled or want the feeling of being controlled in
a safe environment.
In a safe environment, where you trust the partner that you're with. Yeah, and
I agree.
Trust that partner in a huge way. Like to give up control completely, you've got to be the one in charge.
Exactly.
Like really in the dynamic, you really look that the submissive one is the one that's really, really in charge.
Right. That's what I love about the Dane Cook bit.
Right.
You know, at the end, he's picking up milk.
Right.
You know, he's, and his is a little hyperbolic in that, you know, he's funny. Like not a rapist. He's a rapist murderer. He's going to come and bury her at the beach, which I was like, what the fuck is that? That's a weird piece of information, you nut job. So I said I wanted Joshua to show up wearing a ski mask and mince around the outside of my house and have a knife that he's sharpening along the side of his jeans.
Perfect.
And then he doesn't do it. So it's really hard to find a good...
Because I'm a horrible listener. I'm not.
That's right. You're a man.
I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a man. Terrible listener. I can tell you I've had more than one grown adult male who said, I'm not going to get in trouble for being in your shrubs wearing a ski mask, am I? And I laughed heartily because I think it's fucking funny.
Right.
I think it would also be fun. I don't think it would be, you know.
It would be fun, assuming that you trust the person.
That I know the person.
You know the person.
Yeah, it's not a stranger.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I can't imagine anybody that would be on board with a complete surprise, someone they don't know in their
surprise sex. Right. That's like the people that put ads on Craigslist to be murdered and eaten. I mean, there's probably a very small group of people who want to be raped and killed. I don't know what has gone wrong in their lives, but there's probably a small number of people like that. But
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't imagine that comes from a healthy place.
No, that's not coming from
Versus, I mean, this other playful stuff. That's all play. It's fun. It's healthy.
You know, wearing a cheerleader costume, or being a plushie, or there's a million different. I don't even want to call it kinks. There's a million different, activities, enticements, things that one person really likes and one person doesn't, and that's. I remember a comic named John Regi, who I loved. He was a showrunner, and he's from Cincinnati, and is a brilliant comic, and was on, I think, the Tonight Show, and said that he thought he was having a heart attack, and it turned out his nipple clamp was turned up too high. And he went to the doctor, and the doctor said, "You're way too small of a man to have it on a 10. Dial it down to 7 or something," which is hilarious.
Totally.
So Joshua brought up a really good point about most rapists are considered penis owners.
Yeah, I think in our society, I think that we look at rape in that way, where it's a penis
centric
thing, like, and that's how the sex is taken is
we were talking about, while we had to pause for a moment, about the origin of the word rape, and it means, like thievery, stealing something, and Joshua put it beautifully. He's like, oh, you're stealing sex.
Sure. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. And that is what it is, because in a healthy sexual encounter, both people give their consent, and it is explicitly given, it is explicitly asked for, it is explicitly given. Now, does that mean, can I kiss you now? Yes, you may kiss me now. That doesn't, I mean, sure, that's I don't quite understand consent.
Are you Mormon? I don't know what's happening.
Right, like that's a weird,
okay.
that's a weird, but it is given, it is not just, and then it can be absolutely revoked at any point.
Oh, okay.
In the encounter, saying, no, I'm done. We've got to stop that. I don't like that anymore. Whatever, and that has to be respected for it to be a healthy.
I can
thing.
see how that could be problematic, unless you really do have a safe word, because
that's
you
why
can be
we
like,
have to have the safe words, right?
One of the things that made me
people. Sorry.
No, me and you. Yeah. It's privilege.
Right.
My safe word's privilege. So, because I think it's fucking funny. I just think it's hilarious.
Is that seriously?
Yes. Awesome. My safe word's privilege. Not that I ever have use for it, but it makes me laugh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh. I'm so glad I made you laugh. My safe word for no reason makes me laugh too. Right. I think it's fucking hilarious. It's not pineapple or whatever. It's privilege.
Sure.
One of the things that makes me laugh so hard about Dane Cook is he's not Crystalia in his impression of women. I hate Crystalia too, but he's pretty fucking masterful about how he portrays women, especially drunk women. He does a really great impression.
Sure.
But Dane Cook does this hilarious impression of this, first of all, he sets it up that this is his girlfriend's fantasy.
Right.
And then, she's like at home eating popcorn, watching a scary movie. And it's like, oh no, there's a scratching at the window. It's just so funny. God. There's no woman I know who'd be like, oh no. I mean, that's, I'm like, I smell an Emmy.
Right.
To everyone's terrible. There's no good acting here. So yeah, but it's just so fun. I think the clip is really funny, and it, I think it's just semantics, what we're talking about.
Sure. And you know what? I absolutely, I'm a good learner. I can take a hint. I now know that using the term rape fantasy conjures up images that I don't necessarily mean. So I will stop using that term. That's easy.
Well, that's a beautiful thing.
I'll change to a different term. I mean, I'll use different words.
Surprise sex.
Yeah, that's it.
Surprise! You make it sound like a party. I know you. Okay. I know who you are, and I know you will.
No, I mean, and that's the fantasy that I'm talking about, that many women have, even though we're not agreeing upon the numbers. Many women that I've encountered in my life have a fantasy of giving up control to someone and releasing
a partner they trust,
yeah. And giving herself to him, and him ravishing her, and that, and that's amazing.
Isn't that like
and that's
what
healthy, and
Barbara Cartland, romance novels are about?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Everything with Fabio on the cover.
Fabio. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, totally. And that's what I meant by that fantasy. I'll change words. No bigs.
Oh, well, that's awfully kind of you. So now there you have it, tipsters.
And you can still hate me,
Joshua.
If you want.
No one hates you. Everyone said the same thing. I don't think Joshua said anything wrong. I don't think he did anything wrong. I'm going to disagree with him. To me, it was some of the most healthy, beautiful messages. It made people think.
I like it.
And they, maybe had a disagreement, with you about verbiage. And,
I think you hit it.
Yeah. And you don't want women to be in pain
Not at all.
or violence enacted on them. What you want is to have Amber Lancaster at home watching a movie, and then Joshua's out in front of her window wearing a ski mask.
And what's so funny is somebody who's listening is going to message her and be like, "You have to listen to this.
Well,
this guy wants to lurk around your house."
He says his name's Peter Palmdale.
And all of a sudden, I'm going to get the Antelope Valley Police Department.
Well, it's the Sheriff's Department. Yeah.
Knocking on my door.
Is this a threat against Ms. Lancaster, Mr. Palmdale? Yeah. That's pretty funny. I'm just kidding, Ms. Lancaster. Joshua respects you in every way, shape, and form. And the only reason I know anything about Amber Lancaster is because Joshua was helping me with a hilarious spoof account on TikTok where someone pretending to be Rick Springfield wanted to have an affair with me because his wife was fucking around. And I'm like, Mr. Springfield, you're 73. I'm 58. Ain't nothing. Go away. And he was like, do you think that my account is fake? And I'm like, I do.
Yeah.
I do. So I finally blocked the guy. But then like a day later, Joshua sends me things. Oh my God, Amber Lancaster started following me and it's a total fake account. And I was like, wah. So I can't have Rick Springfield and you can't have Amber Lancaster.
Okay,
at least the day is young though. You never know.
Yeah. Oh boy.
All right. What do you tipsters think? I asked and you answered. And if you have more questions or answers, I'd love to hear them. But I think this was, good talk. Good talk. Way to watch them. Good talk.
What other fantasies do you have?
Yeah. Send in all your, like teacher, schoolgirl, cheerleader, football coach.
Like the Hot for Teacher video.
Sure.
Yeah. That's a good one.
With an apple. You're eating an apple. Yeah.
Yeah.
The look in your eyes is scaring me right now. So think of something else.
Okay. Baseball.
And more cowbell.
If you would like to support this podcast and get early access and other cool murderous swag, go to patreon.com/justthetipsters.